Alrighty guys, welcome to episode 65 with the Couple of Lattes podcast. My name is Jacques and today I'm trying something a little bit different. So I'm recording this on video. For anyone who prefers to watch video or wants to see the behind the scenes of recording a podcast, you can head to our Massey Bros YouTube channel. Just search MASSIE space BROS. So today I want to talk a little bit more on the topic of responsibility and the idea that each and every one of us has a role and a purpose to play, and that even though at times it may be painful and we may feel as if we don't want to fulfill that purpose, that we don't want to get out of bed that day, that we'd rather stay under the sheets, that it is in fact our inherent duty as part of the universe to contribute in the way that our nature intended. Alright, so I wanted to start off by reading you guys a quote from a book that I've recently read. It's by Marcus Aurelius and it's called Meditations. And I would recommend for every young adult, or even every old adult, it doesn't matter what age you are, to read this book. It's super cheap. I think it cost me like $11. You can get the Penguin Classics edition, which also comes with explanations as to what certain entries may mean. And essentially what this book was Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor way back around 100 to 200 AD. I can't remember the exact dates. But essentially he was the first emperor to really be a philosopher as well. And he pulled a lot of his philosophy from the Stoics. And what this book actually is just his journal entries. He never, or as much as we understand, it never seemed like he wanted to publish this book in any way or send it to anyone else. It was simply entries he had to himself, thoughts and battles and conflicts he had within himself, ideas he wanted to share and ideas he wanted to understand more himself. But the beauty of this journal is that even now, 2,000 years later, it still has inherent relevance in our lives in terms of how we view our responsibility to the world, in terms of how we view death, in terms of how we appreciate things for what they are, i.e. gratitude instead of complacency. So I'll start by reading you. This is from book 5. So let me just bring it up. Where are we? It's book 8. Just flicking through the pages. Okay. So what Marcus is talking about here is the break of day, so when you wake up. At break of day, when you are reluctant to get up, have this thought ready to mind. I am getting up for a man's work. Do I still then resent it? If I am going out to do what I was born for, the purpose for which I was brought into the world? Or was I created to wrap myself in blankets and keep warm? But this is more pleasant. Were you then born for pleasure, all for feeling, not for action? Can you not see plants, birds, ants, spiders, bees, all doing their own work, each helping in their own way to order the world? And then you do not want to do the work of a human being? You do not hurry to the demands of your own nature? But one needs to rest too. One does indeed, I agree, but nature has set limits to this too, just as it has set limits to eating and drinking. And yet you go beyond these limits, beyond what you need. Not in your actions, though, not any longer. Here you stay below your capability. Wow. So essentially what that means is, as human beings, we have this inherent responsibility to contribute to the universe, to contribute to the world through action, not through thought or feeling, but through action. Getting up each and every day to accomplish something that is in our nature, something that we feel purposeful about. And in fact, we don't even need to feel this inherent sense of purpose to do this action. We just need to be purposeful about doing the action. Be purposeful about taking the rubbish out to the trash. Be purposeful about doing the dishes, about making your bed. What he's saying is there is no excuse for not getting up. It's in our nature. Everything else in the world contributes. So what makes us exceptional? Get out of bed. That is the most basic form of the message. And even at times when we feel run down, or we feel as if we could just sleep for another 5 minutes, or we could just take the day off, get up. Embrace the fact that you feel a sense of momentary pain, a sense of momentary displeasure, and get up and do what you were intended to do. Be alive, be active, contribute, be purposeful. And you'll find that by doing so, you have far more moments of contentness, far more moments of happiness, and you feel as if you really deserve to be alive. A lot of our suffering comes from this concept of, what's our purpose? What are we doing here? The crazy thing is, the most simple solution to eliminating that kind of downward spiraling thought process is through action, through doing. So today's message is a simple one. Next time you feel as if you're downtrodden, you're sad, you're worthless, you shouldn't be getting out of bed, you shouldn't be moving, you should just stay here in your hole and hide from the world, do something. Any little thing. Get up and tidy your bed. Get up and clean the bathroom. Get up and do the dishes. Take action. Live purposefully and become embracing of your nature as a human being. You'll fail, sure. And sometimes it's going to hurt, definitely. But at the end of the day, isn't it better to feel happy, content, and purposeful while suffering momentary occurrences of pain, rather than to feel miserable, depressed, anxious, and worthless while while enjoying momentary, tiny little bits of pleasure? For me, I'd much rather pick purpose over momentary pleasure. And I hope you do the same. So that's the end of today's podcast. For those of you guys watching on YouTube, sorry I haven't shown my face, but thanks for watching. And please leave us a review. If you really like it, leave us a 5-star rating. But the reviews are also important, because the more reviews we get, the more our podcast is exposed through podcasts, through Spotify, through all of the channels that we stream on. So please leave us a review. We'd be really, really grateful. And as always, if you're not already, follow us, subscribe, and share with your friends. If there's someone out there that you think might benefit from this podcast, share it with them, and hopefully they become one of our dedicated listeners. Thank you so much for listening, guys. As always, love you all, and we'll see you in the next episode of Couple of Lattes.